Okay, everyone. Thanks again. I know we still have some people joining, and it's about a minute until we'll actually start the presentation. Just before we do, though, I'm going to go through a couple of our Tech Data resources, and I'll introduce Noel Nguyen to everybody as well as our special guest today, the Director of Systems Engineering for Software-Defined Storage of VMware. Very thrilled to have her telling us about vSAN today. Hi, Noel.
Hello.
So you're going to, everyone who's attending the presentation today is going to get a copy of our PowerPoint presentation. With that in mind, we've included a lot of resources and contact info. The VMware Business Development Team at Tech Data is here. As well, our training camp program, which I'm sure a number of you have reached our huddle through. If you haven't already, if you ever have any questions about what we do over here or need some help with VMware and you're not sure who to call, you can always call our number and our extension 80333, option number 4, or email us to get our general training camp box, and one of our reps will help you out right away. For those of you who are on and have not yet joined training camp, I definitely recommend checking it out. There are a lot of things there like lead generations, these bi-weekly huddles. We do event sponsorships, training sponsorships every quarter, and so on and so forth down the line. So get in touch with us about that too if you haven't already. The training camp team, you'll have all of our contact information. And we also have an application. It's our smartphone app called MBytes TD. It's available to download for free on the iTunes and Android stores. You can search for MBytes and take advantage of it. It's got cheat sheets, sales material, presentations, prospecting guides, tons and tons of stuff to help you further develop your VMware business. Once you have this presentation, you'll also be able to just click on either of these links. It'll take you right to the app. And finally, before we get started, I just want to let everyone know, for those who haven't taken advantage of it yet, we do have a large solution center, 6,000 square feet of seminars, trainings, on-site demos, remote demos, virtual demos, and the option to check things out in a sandbox environment. If you as a partner wanted to show something off to an end user, we can accommodate you a number of ways in our own environment, and you can basically leverage our resources to show off your VMware ideas and solutions and proof of concepts to your partners. Your end users. That said, we're actually going to begin. Simply with what is virtual SAN, and I will turn it over to Noel, who's going to take us through it.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Hi, everybody. My name is Noel Nguyen. Like Ray said, I am the Director of Systems Engineering for VMware. So today we're going to talk about the software-defined storage group, specifically Virtual SAN. So what is Virtual SAN? Virtual SAN allows customers to abstract and pool resources from the internal disks that sit on the ESXi hosts that are participating in a Virtual SAN cluster and create an actual Virtual SAN shared data store, distributing the disks across all of the hosts in the cluster. And the way that we do this is by creating disk groups that have a /optimized storage tier for the caching and write buffering and recache of the data. And then the magnetic disks hold the capacity. And our approach is to create a VM-centric environment that is application aware, VM aware, have the ability to create policies based on storage capacity and performance at the VMDK level. This is fully integrated into vSphere, so it is embedded at the closest direct point from disk to vSphere using a VASA provider, and nobody else in the marketplace is embedded into vSphere like we are. Ray, next slide, please. So why Virtual SAN? Well, one, it is absolutely simple. It's radically simple. It's 2 clicks to enable. It's the same thing as when you create a cluster inside vSphere. It's a checkbox to enable a cluster awareness, and that cluster awareness is Virtual SAN. In addition to that, you have a single pane of glass. You manage all of your policies through vSphere itself. When you're provisioning now, you have a drop-down that allows you to specify your fault-tolerant policies, your capacity, your performance.
Sorry, 1 second, Noelle. Someone's decided to put us on hold. Okay. Thanks very much.
Okay. Sure, no problem. Self-tuning, self-healing, and SLAs in order to meet the application needs at the VMDK level. It's also highly integrated into the VMware stack. We work very well, which you'll see later on some pricing, et cetera, on the Horizon Suite. We work with VDPA from a backup perspective. We're integrating into other areas like vCloud automation and hybrid cloud and other areas like that. It is high performance because you get to design it the way you want. You design the x86 server. You get to choose what type or class of SSD you use depending on the number of writes. You also get to choose how many magnetic disks, how many disk groups, what type of controller, and that all allows you to accelerate your flash, grow the entire system, and you'll see in a moment how we scale up and scale out linearly. But in addition to that, you can achieve 2 million IOPS in a 32-node cluster. Also, it lowers your TCO. You can buy as you go or grow as you go. You can easily purchase and procure servers versus having your customers procure a SAN with a 3 to 5 year investment case. And it takes no special skill set. You can easily provision it. You can easily install it. It's very simple. Next slide, Rick. Okay, so vSAN we get often is not a VSA. You previously had a product in the market called VSA. It's now end of life, soon to be end of support. How is that different from virtual SAN? So there's a couple differences. One, vSAN is embedded into the hypervisor, where VSA was a storage appliance, and there was some unnecessary overhead with dealing with appliances as well as the configuration minimum. So the minimum configuration, for example, I believe was 2 hosts. With vSAN, it's 3 hosts. So there is a little difference in your entry to market, but what you get out of it and the policies and the provisioning is completely different. Next slide, please. So virtual SAN is highly resilient against any hardware failure. When you're provisioning your VM, you get to choose a storage policy-based management, and one of them is fault tolerance, which means how many failures can I tolerate? That's a network failure, that's a host failure, that's a disk failure, it could be an SSD failure. Any of those things it can tolerate because it does an N+1. So fault tolerant 1 means it's going to make 2 copies on 2 different hosts at any given point in time. If one of those hosts goes down, it can easily see that it's out of compliance and create a new mirror on another host if that host was the one participating in its second copy. So there is integration into HA. There's multiple ways that you can configure your zero downtime fault tolerance. You can choose larger fault-tolerant policies as well. Next slide. So when we say scale out and scale out is a minimum of 3 hosts participating in a cluster in a disk group, includes 1 SSD and 1 HDD. Now, if you want to go ahead and add to that, you can add an additional 4th node and just add the ESX host, and you can add to the compute layer, or you can add to performance and capacity by adding an additional SSD or HDD. In addition to that, next slide, you have the ability to grow your environment up to 32 nodes, as well as up to 5 disk groups. So each of these hosts can expand to having 5 disk groups, which is 1 SSD and 7 HDDs times 5 per host if it's available, and you can add up to 32 nodes in a cluster. Next slide.
Okay.
So I will hand it over to you, Ray.
Thank you. Thanks, Noel. So we're going to get into, for the partners, what's in it for you when you get into vSAN as a solution for your end users. Obviously, a big part of that is the pricing and the promos we've got going on. First of all, I just wanted to take a really quick look at the additions and the bundles that we've got. So you can see the standalone vSAN. The vSAN VDPA bundle, which is going on right now, and it's actually got a bit of a promo running through September 15th, 2014, and vSAN for desktop as well, the VDI standpoint. For vSAN standalone, as you can see, the vSAN standalone and the vSAN VDPA bundle are licensed on a per CPU, so that's a per socket, obviously. If you had your 3 hosts with 2 CPUs each, that would be 6 licenses required on either VDPA vSAN or vSAN on its own. The price of vSAN is $24.95, and then the vSAN VDPA bundle, as we say, it's on promo. vSAN for desktop works a little bit differently. It's standalone. It's for the VDI environment only, VMware. There's also Noel, I don't know if you want to touch on this or not, but a little bit of interplay with Citrix. Is it Zen Desktop as well? If somebody wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same.
Okay, and then that could be concurrent or named users. The licensing is done per user, and it's got a really low number of $50 here, but please keep in mind that that's sold in quantities of 10. I believe there might be a 100 pack as well, the 10 pack being at $500, obviously. One other kind of cool thing here is vSAN also includes a virtual distributed switch too. So for some of your clients that are looking for that, but maybe at the moment, they're on like say the standard or the enterprise edition of vSphere and don't have the distributed switch, but they invest in vSAN, they're going to get the distributed switch with that as well. That's kind of a cool feature. Normally, it's only included in Enterprise Plus. On the promo side, you can earn your additional money this way. There's obviously the Advantage Plus registration for deals over 6K. For enterprise partners, you'll be eligible for 10% discount on net new licenses. Pro partners, 2%. There's also a vSAN accelerator going on through September 15th again. That's an extra 10% off on your vSAN for a total of 20% off the front end of your net new licenses. Please keep in mind, of course, that does not count towards support, just the net new licenses. And then the bundle promos. If you decided to go with the vSAN VDPA bundle, we're actually looking at, we had that promo price, not $35.90, but again, $28.75. I'll just flash back really quickly and point over there until September the 15th, and there's a 20% discount on that as well. So that might actually take us down to $28.75. And the bundle promos for if you were using the storage appliance and you've decided to upgrade to vSAN, again, they aren't the same thing. vSAN has a lot more powerful features, as Noel described. You're looking at an upgrade of $11,475 for the bundle. That gives you 6 CPUs per bundle, and with a discount on that too. So that's how you can make a bit of the extra margin. And another kind of cool thing that some of you might be interested in, for the most sellingest, I'm making that a word now, vSAN salesperson out there, up till the end of December, you can win yourself a Tesla Model S. It's not a little one, it's a real one. You can drive it and recharge it and have a lot of fun with that too. So really can't wait to see who actually ends up winning that. I don't think we're allowed to, are we?
I wish we were.
Okay, I had to check, With that, of course, we've got a few more links here. Some learn more links. We've got our Tech Data phone number over there. You've got our extension 80333 option 4 for the Training Camp General phone number as well. Our sales application, Partner Central, and I'm actually going to flip through these quick because, again, you will be getting this slide deck and you'll have all of these links. For Partner Central, you'll see these additional resources for vSAN. The hands-on lab is available if you want to go and play around with it in a bit of a contained environment. There's a 60-day free evaluation, and of course the SDS team email box. If you do decide to go to Partner University, which I'm actually going to do this right on the fly. Sorry about that. You're gonna find all of these kinds of courses over there that you can use to train up on vSAN. Of course, we're here too to help. and our map for the SDS salespeople and contact numbers. Noelle's right up there, so I encourage everyone to harass the people under her first if you can. And the sales team organization chart. And finally, after skimming over that, vSAN is a pretty cool little piece of software here that's now available to you. And we're going to open the floor up to questions for Noelle or myself on the pricing. Okay, you should be unmuted now. If you find that you aren't and you do want to ask a question.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear all of you.
Like that.
But you're not confident enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're kind of like, you got to be more like that.
You're really good at being confident, even if you're not saying the right stuff, dude.
That's something you're really good at.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Looks like we have a nice conversation going on rather than questions about vSAN.
Sorry, my name is Andre. I did have a question.
Okay, sure.
I'm sorry, but I missed the first couple of minutes of presentation when Noel was talking about the product. So, is it possible to return to first couple of slides, or it's too late for that?
Go in there right now for you.
Just basically the idea of storage organization. I missed that part. If it's possible to talk a minute about it. So it's basically.
Sure. Were you talking about the
actual
scale out and scale up portion?
No, the virtual grouping of storage. And I see you have SSD over there. Is it some kind of requirement? Does it have to be there? Do you have to have SSD storage?
Yeah, so the way that it works is every ESX host that participates in the cluster that is providing performance and capacity needs at least a minimum of a disk group that has one SSD and one HDD. And the reason for that is because of the way our technology works. We do a read cache and a write buffer at the SSD level.
Okay. Hello?
Did we?
I think we lost her.
I think we lost Noelle?
I think so.
Okay. Until she pops back in, so yeah, that is the minimum requirement. You do require one SSD and one HDD per host, and you need to have a minimum of 3 hosts. And as I think she was about to say, it's for the simple reason that the SSD handles the read-write caching.
Right.
To keep everything flowing smoothly.
I can see her on the panel on the list.
Yeah.
But maybe she has just by mistake hung up or something.
They're just lost.
Yeah, lost her.
We can continue until she gets back in. Does that kind of make sense for you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So
I will say, since and this is going to be completely off the record, if it was something that you wanted to test, there are a couple of things that you can do to sort of get it going, even if you might not have all 3 hosts and all 3 SSDs. If it was something, I would not definitely not recommend it for any kind of production environment, because it won't work very well. But
right.
Just to play around with it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this right. So on this diagram, right, you have 3 separate hosts.
That's right, and you're able to scale out
under one vCenter, I assume.
Yes, that's right. And you can continue adding to this
and this storage, is it local to the hosts, or is it like some kind of SAN device?
So it will show up as a shared data store in the data.
No, but originally, before cluster is configured, what kind of storage are we talking about?
You're talking about the actual storage that's in each individual, like the local storage in each individual host.
Oh, okay. Not some kind of shared storage.
Correct. So then it takes all of those local, those host hard drives and pools them into a shared data store.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
is a very good way to especially
So it's like creating shared storage more or less out of
what you've
storage.
already got, and because of the resilience and the fact that it's cluster based, you're able to recommend this as a solution rather than going out and buying hardware and
Okay, now it makes
hardware
perfect
stand.
sense because
Exactly, and you're avoiding vendor lock-in. You're able to scale out and scale up, as she mentioned on the other slide here. You can add up to 7 HDDs per host in there, up to a maximum of 32 hosts, 32 nodes they'll call it. So you imagine 32 nodes with at least one SSD each and another 7 HDDs, and you've got like 2 million IOPS.
and
potential.
is it storage agnostic? Like, do I have to maintain
Yes.
the same type of hard drives or
No,
speed?
there is a compatibility list as with everything VMware, and they do have resources for that.
But it doesn't have to be identical, right? Is there some playroom?
You know what? That's a question for Noel to answer, I believe. But to my knowledge, it's hardware agnostic, and as long as you maintain compatibility with recommended drives that VMware might suggest, you can mix and match them.
And this is did I understand this right? Is this something that's actually built into vCenter?
Correct. It's actually no. It's actually built into the hypervisor kernel. It's right in the kernel. So when you get into vCenter, if you want to turn it on, it's a simple checkbox that literally says enable vSAN, and it goes about. It will detect your SSDs, and it will allow you to do hot adding and so on and so forth.
Is it starting from certain version of vCenter?
No, because you'll have vCenter. Essentials Plus can make use of it. Again, the minimum requirements are 3 hosts, right? So at that point, most people will have Essentials Plus. We would at least.
No, I meant like version, like let's say 5.0, 5.5,
right.
5.5.
Oh, version. No, version-wise, again, this is something that we'd want her to confirm, but I believe it's 5.5 on.
Yeah, it's 5.5 update.
Perfect time.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just missed a couple of, first couple of slides and kind of didn't make sense for me in the end. But yeah, now perfectly understandable.
And
I can
Noel,
see. Sorry,
Noel, may I ask?
Yeah.
Where would you say usage case wise vSAN could fit in, like as an alternative when you're actually going to target an end user who figures that they need a regular SAN? Do you have a sort of a way in, or to say no? You know what, you guys should check this out because.
Yeah. So there's a couple.
I guess you would need this if you need ability to be able to vMotion things around, right?
Yeah, you can use it for vMotion as well. So there's a couple use cases. One major use case we see often and our most popular is VDI. So specifically, VDI causes a lot of over-provisioning, over-capacity, over-performance on SANs, and a lot of storage administrators like to see that being offloaded over to something else, less expensive storage, high-performance systems. So VDI is a good use case. We get a lot of customers focusing on creating that for test dev staging, so they're not utilizing the production system. And a lot of customers, surprisingly, for management clusters and isolated DMZs, because all the hosts that are participating in the vSAN cluster are not seen anywhere else. So unless you're in the cluster, you don't see that data store. However, from vCenter itself, if you were to mount an external data store, you can mount it and you can vMotion or storage vMotion to another system.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks, Noel. We also have a couple of questions from Ben Johnson. He asks, could you also run VMs on the disk group? Is that recommended or discouraged?
So you create the virtual SAN data store, and you don't really get to specify where you place the VMDK, but the VMDK itself will be populated based on who has the most ability and the best performance at the time of placement of that VMDK. and then the replica will be created on another host on another disk that is not participating currently in the same host that's hosting that VM if possible. And then if you have multiple disk groups, you can utilize them for additional striping and aggregates, which help you with performance.
Just scanning here. I don't see any other questions. If anyone does have any left, maybe feel free to take one or more if there are any. Okay, it looks like that's all the questions. Oh, hang on, we got one other here. Okay, so understood about the VM decay, but what about the actual VM as far as the? It looks like the question is about compute. So what about the actual VM with regards to CPU, RAM, etc.?
So you do have the ability to do an object reservation. So you could specify on when you create the VM if you want to create it thick or thin. You also have the ability to specialize a specific flash cache reservation. So you could say, out of the entire flash tier, this application requires 10% of usable capacity at any given point in time, which gives that particular VM or application a specific percentage of the flash at any given time. And then the other thing is performance. You can specify disk stripes to participate for performance. So you can actually, if available, stripe up to 12 disks to participate in that actual VM performance to move objects.
Awesome, and it looks like that did it for the question. Yeah, I got the okay. Thanks very much. Okay. Any last question from anybody, or we'll finish this up today. And let's see. I'll just wait for another second here. It looks like we're good. Definitely an exciting new technology out of VMware, if I do say so myself. Adoption's been really, really good right out of the gate, which was amazing for us to see. We do have our system engineers over here at Tech Data, the VMware system engineers available too to talk vSAN. Noelle, I believe there's a calculator coming out soon as well to help size up environments. Is that correct?
That's correct. And on VMware's website, if you search our blogs today, they published the VDI sizing and design guide.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so with that, I think we'll end this. Again, I want to say thanks very much. It's extremely appreciated, Noelle, for having you here to tell us about vSAN. This presentation will be up online on our YouTube channel as well. You'll all be getting a copy of the presentation. And if you have any other further questions, or you want to know about integrating vSAN into a particular proof of concept or pitch you have for any of your end users, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll definitely get you the help you need and help you pick the right solution. With that, thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Thanks again, Noelle.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, everybody.